Boom. Okay. So yeah, I don't have an intro video, and I may never because it's kind of become my brand to just not even have one. I didn't have any posters on the wall behind me. It was a blank white slate. This is like a an attic wall. It's kind of
Yeah.
sloping towards. And I heard someone say like if you don't have shit on your walls, you're probably a serial killer. And I was like, or you're just like lazy or something. I don't know. I tried to tape this up once and it all fell down. And
And
then yeah, I got the Nosferatu one hanging, but I
I
need
mean,
more. These two is like the worst number. It's still like cursed. It's like
if
big
it,
old blank
I was about to
space.
say, if you ask me, that looks more like a serial killer wall than a blank wall. Just to be honest, with the
I
like
know.
green, the mixture of green and blue tape, and then the Nosferatu. I mean, I'd be concerned, but
Yeah.
yeah,
What is with the multicolored tape? How did that even happen in my
I
life?
don't know. It's just part of the quirkiness, part of the serial killer aspect, the backstory,
Yeah, I have a drawer in my house that's all just different colors of tape. And
as serial
just
killers do. It's,
yeah,
it all makes sense.
right next to the pliers and the
Yeah,
wires or
for
whatever.
the teeth and the yeah, I understand.
Yeah. But yes, so and then the way these things go to is people kind of trickle in. So I think I want to share your thing right away so people kind of know. And that's for people watching this later and we'll check
Right.
in later, but we aren't going to like focus on it the entire time.
No worries.
But yes. And by the way, everyone, this is Chris O'Hara. I just met Chris behind the scenes too. How's it going, Chris?
Yeah, it's going well. I mean, I appreciate you having me on. It's been a busy
Yeah, thanks.
week or month.
Yeah, because you're into the campaign. Oh, I mean, yeah, it's pretty close. It was just a few minutes ago. It was 68 backers, 68 hours to go. And I was like,
Oh,
ooh, it's fate. It's fate. But now it's been ruined by time. Time
that's
always
all right.
ruins everything.
Time does that. Yeah.
If someone could refund, we could keep it going. No, I think this is like Benjamin Button. They met in the middle and now they move apart.
Yep.
So yeah, and if you get any backers on this live stream, like I see Paulus in the chat. Paulus, if you back this, that's the NOODGE, which is like a wrestling move. Bam! You get the Narwhal NOODGE, and that's like a
Okay.
little boost on your campaign. You hit me up because I'm a little curious about this because it's like the web of who knows who. And I'm trying to expand. So I like it when people I don't really know hit me up because I'm even like, how did you find out about me? And you mentioned it was the guy I just had on. What was his name? Do you remember?
I
Maybe?
don't
Or do you know?
remember.
Do
Hold
you
on.
know how?
I did. Hold on. I would have to go look because now I'm
Yeah, go ahead and
embarrassed.
look.
I did mention it,
Yeah.
but that
And
was
like he was
whenever
your
we
best
scheduled this
friend.
was like earlier this month, right?
Yeah, you told me he
Oh
was your
yeah,
best
Nick.
friend. Yeah,
I
Nick.
I forgot it. Yeah, I forgot that was Nick because I wasn't sure if it was Nick or Bancroft because I've been trying to get on Bancroft's show for a while now.
Okay, yeah.
He won't.
Yeah,
He
Bancroft's
has.
definitely one of the big good ones out there for sure.
Yeah, he
There
hasn't reached back out yet, which is fine.
Yeah,
But
well,
no,
maybe
Nick
at
is
the end of this
awesome.
show could help a little bit. Who knows? Just
Sweet.
doing the rounds. And like,
Yeah.
I feel like there's not quite as many as you might think. Hence why Bancroft gets hit up maybe so much. He's getting flooded or whatever.
Yeah.
But so there always could be more. I don't mind doing it, but I just do it as a little side thing. Like I do it every other week. Whoever hits me up, someone hits me up, will do it. And I started calling it the NOOGE, but I lose track of how many I've done, so I can't be like the NOOGE episode 10.
Yeah, right. No, I used to do this too. Probably like last year, I was pretty strict about it, and I had a lot of indie creators on. And it was a lot of fun. I just, life got busy, and I just couldn't keep that schedule going. And so I just I guess I'm just going to be the guest from now on. I'm just going to reach out to people whenever I have time.
It kind of ebbs and flows too. Like I was like that. I quit doing it for like a year, even 2 maybe. Now I'm kind of back to doing it until, inevitable, some kind of burnout, whatever happens. So a lot of times it's just keeping the schedule can be kind of the most thing because just things come up or whatever.
For sure.
Yes. So now so through Nick and you just hit me up. So everyone meet Chris. And then here's the campaign. It's called Our Monsters. It's been live for a while now. They reached the goal, which is great. And do you want to give us a little intro pitch kind of thing, and I can.
So Our Monsters Volume. Well, this is Our Monsters Volume 2. Our Monsters, the series, is a kind of like a anthology, but it's based around a single artist. Her name's Luna A. She's a young Brazilian a girl from Brazil, obviously. And I discovered her, and I just fell in love with her art. What we ended up doing was collaborating on this really cool series that, inspired by her art, is basically just single page, unsettling horror stories. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the elevator pitch is pretty straightforward. There's no narration, no speech bubbles. It's just a creepy picture. We have some titles for the pictures that kind of allow for it to have a bit of flow when you're reading it. And if you've read volume 1, which if you haven't, I highly recommend you go do that on Global Comics. But if you read volume 1, you'd know what I mean by that. And the in-between pages also allow for a little bit of a through line in there that I've injected. Otherwise, there is no through line. They're all their own stories. They stand on their own. It's just basically a 1-2 punch type of deal, but in horror format.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great for doing the horror thing. It's kind of hard to do horror with art with comics. And you can think of examples and like I don't know, like what isn't the one, there's like some paintings, like there's like Saturn eating his son or something.
One of my favorite paintings. Yeah. And I do a comic book called Artificial, where we put a lot of classical artwork as like homages in some of the panels, and I can't wait to get to that painting because I have a plan for it, like in a whole sequence. But yeah, like that kind of stuff. For some weird reason, I think it's just so highly detailed, and just the Victorian aspect of it makes it a still image that gives off a horror. Like it's almost it's creepy to look at. Otherwise, it's hard to do that with comics.
Yeah, it's a little bit like of an X factor, and these pages are achieving it. Like that one that we were looking at, like this like guy down the hall. A lot of it is like you can kind of barely see him, and it is getting the eyes just the right distance apart. You know, there's a point where it triggers our like. They're too wide. They're too far apart, and he's tilting his head. You know, it all happens wrong. Subconsciously.
He's smiling. He has too many teeth. There's all these little things that you throw in there that make you go, nope, don't like that.
Yeah. So that's awesome. It's fun to see it just in the image form, kind of having it work like that. It feels like this could be like a design booklet for a larger project too, like down the line or something. You know what it kind of reminds me of too? Yeah, it reminds me of like maybe influenced some of it by Berserk. I would want to ask her that have you ever read Berserk, or do you know?
Yeah, I've read Berserk. I don't think that takes much of an influence for Luna. I think Luna is quite literally just something's wrong. I think it's just something's wrong, and in the most beautiful and perfect way. So a lot of this is just her. Volume 1 the majority of Volume 1 was her. It was all her stories that she had like compiled on an Instagram way back in the day that she wasn't doing anything with. And I told her, I was like, we could make a book out of this. I was like, we could make like a horror anthology that would be really sick. What do you say? And she was all game. So Volume 1 went very well. It's one of our best sellers. Volume 2 is actually more of a give and take between the two of us. Now I'm writing a handful, she's writing a handful, so it's really just a nice little marriage between the two of us to see who's messed up the most. That's kind of what we're doing.
You said Volume 1 sold out recently too, and you said you do conventions, and Bentbox is like a company. It makes so like. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, do you have multiple books then, and this is like just one of them, kind of, or is this your first book?
I think if you go to our Global Comics, you'll see, but just our like publisher page, we have a lot of comics.
Okay. 16
so
comics. Okay.
Yeah. So we have pretty much anything you could be interested in. We have fantasy, horror, we have noir, we have high fantasy, modern fantasy, we have sci-fi, we even have historical drama. Like we have pretty much anything you could be interested in.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, the like just even Worlds Forgotten looks sweet. I'm gonna read that later.
Yeah, that one's actually a fully free one on Global Comics. So if you don't even have gold, go read it. It's free. Orium #2 is coming out pretty soon. Orium's a sick one. We got a bunch of stuff. Now, to be fair, a lot of these are other creators. So my name is Chris. I own the company Bentbox, which is just publishing house at the moment.
Yeah.
My personal books are Refuge, Artificial, which that's just the tune version. But down lower, you'll see the like full like print style version. And then the rest are just from other awesome creators that have kind of joined the Bentbox moniker to kind of help
Cool.
us really flesh out and have
Yeah.
like a bunch of stuff to offer.
The Last Wand catches my eye, and Wingless. I had that guy on. Shoot, I can't remember his name. He's awesome though.
John
And
Shell, he's one of my best friends. He's actually a high school friend. We started Bentbox like together. So
okay, cool. Yeah, that's
one
cool.
of our
You know, John Snell. The
Yeah.
Wingless looks awesome. I backed it, so I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah, Wingless is fantastic, and it's one of my favorite series that we have, along with Worlds Forgotten, which is also John's. Last One is also John's. Heathen is also John's. John's been busy.
Cool. Which one did you say
yeah.
was yours too?
So mine is Artificial. If you scroll up just a smidge,
Oh,
you'll see
right here.
Artificial.
Yeah.
That's Vincent Van Gogh versus AI zombies. It's
Cool.
a fun time. And then also Refuge, which is coming out at the end of the year. Really, all that's on there right now is the preview. But that's a all ages like action adventure. I think you guys scroll up a little bit more.
Oh, there it is,
Refuge is mine, and then obviously Our Monsters, which is more of a collaboration with myself and the artist.
Yeah, and with that artist, so when you see her on Instagram, did you just like DM her and you're like, "Hey, I love your art.
Yeah,
we can maybe do a book."
I make the comment that I'm going hunting whenever I'm like bored or something, and it's specifically for artists because I'm a writer. And yeah, she didn't have a ton of followers. She was a lower account, and I want to see. I won't be able to even show you the page right here, but there's a specific page that is basically the main beginning of volume 1. I saw that and I was hooked. I was like, okay, this is amazing. This is awesome. I was like, so I reached out immediately, and then I found out she had like 15 more. And so I just went down this rabbit hole of really awesome short stories that she made, single page stories, which isn't easy. That's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Especially with no dialogue and no, you have to really.
Yeah. They're kind of hard to think of. Yeah. Look at this. This one's sweet. So the kid's drawing, shows it to the guy he's drawing, and you see the drawing, and he drew someone behind him.
Yeah. And then you see the arm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that one's mine. The two above it are Luna's.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Cool.
Just to give you an example.
Yeah. By the way, we got 8 people watching, everyone. And I was going to say, I don't know if I've said this yet. I read volume 1. It's free on Global Comics, I believe, correct? It's free. Yeah. So, and you could read it pretty fast because these are wordless stories. And I feel like if you had it in print, you can really pour over the art and really let it sink in. So I recommend everyone pick up a copy. It's for the, it's the kind of book like you would read it 2-3 times because you can read it kind of fast. So maybe the first time you might read it in like 20 minutes or a half hour or whatever. Yeah. And then you go back and you just kind of looking at everything, digesting it. But yeah, I remember I saw there was one with like it actually kind of looked French. And I wonder if sometimes South American artists and European artists like look similar or whatever.
Yeah. Artificial, Gabriel, who did Artificial, we've had a ton of people say it reminded them of like kind of a French style. So,
cool.
So yeah, I think there must be some kind of, something in the water down there that draws from that French style. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the ghosts of colonization or something. I actually don't know if France was even down there.
I don't know either, but maybe.
Yeah. So cool. Oh, so I have something prepared that we'll just take a look at, and then maybe talk a little business because you run a pretty big business. It sounds like, which is fun, and I'm curious about that too. You do conventions, and
I would love to
do web comics, and but what I did was I pulled up. This is pants. So like here's
one.
I
didn't know what the title was. I didn't know they were called pants, but yes, I have seen these.
Yeah. So I don't know how many there are. There's like a lot, I think. And I'd be surprised. Like, again, this is when we're like, I guess he keeps coming up with new ones. Like, how do you come up with like 1,000? Like, I can see maybe 10 of this style. Like, this is chat. Read this and tell me if you laugh. But he goes, "You embarrassed me in front of our guests, Max." And he's just talking to the cat. like a Bond villain. He's looking out the window or whatever, and the cat doesn't even care. Like
Yeah.
that is kind of awesome. And
No, I love
obviously, yeah, like a little bit like Far Side, whatever. I think a lot. Even the other one I pulled up is Beetle Moses, and it's like Far Side
Oh,
esque too.
I also didn't know the name of this, but yes, I'm familiar.
Yeah. So here's one like it's two alligators eating, their noses touch, and then
Yeah.
everyone goes, "Oh my
And they
god!"
blush.
Yeah. So these are obviously way different, but the art of the single
Solid,
page comic,
solid Far Side reference. I appreciate it.
yeah,
Big part of
and
my
it.
childhood, along with Calvin and Hobbes. Those are
I know
the two things my dad
those
read with
like
me.
those are legit the two that everyone loves. And then there's
Yeah.
ones that people hate, like Garfield. I'm like, when did Garfield? And maybe I don't know if there's any people who actually like Garfield. I apologize.
I never got into it. I
You,
never was a Garfield fan.
I remember with Garfield, I like would try to read one because I'm like, I like the art, especially as a kid. I tried to read one and I'm like, wait, what's the joke? I don't get it. And that would happen 2 or 3 times, and then I would stop reading or whatever.
Yeah, I give up.
Yeah,
Apparently, I'm
there was
not
like a
intelligent
web
enough.
comic where they turned Garfield and they delete everything that Garfield says, so it's just John talking to himself the entire time, and it changes it into like an existential comic,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it supposedly it's
Very
actually
different vibe.
good. Yeah, yeah, and that is like hilarious. The
I'd
other thing
probably
I saw,
rather. I think I'd
or
rather just read that. That sounds like a better whole setup for a series. It's just a
I know,
crazy
I
guy who
think
talks to his cat.
it's funny because it actually is better, I think.
Uh,
And there's other like
Sad
memes
and
with
funny.
Garfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there was one. Shoot, what was I? Oh, let's look at another one of these, and I think, but um, we ain't dishwasher safe, big boy. Start scrubbing.
They're
it's
funny. They're
definitely
great.
far. It's definitely Far Side. Straight.
Very
Oh,
Far
so
Side.
much the Far Side, so Pants also has. It has a little like horror thing going on. The way he draws, like this
The
is
art
like
is a little unsettling or a little, yeah, I guess creepy or off. Almost like it
yeah,
seems off. And
yeah,
so yeah.
yeah. And one big drink of water, and I remembered what I was gonna say, and it's that Winnie the Pooh. I just seen like some. I don't have these pulled up, but apparently, it's like if you actually read Winnie the Pooh, there's a lot of examples of. I think it's Pooh being like savage to his friends. Like he's like he'll roast them and he'll kind of
Yeah.
make fun of them and stuff. And like
Oh
it's
yeah.
actually like really clever, and he's borderline a bully, and it's
Yeah.
awesome. And I didn't know
He was
that. I
kind of a
didn't know.
jerk. I don't know if
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
knows this.
Yeah, and I think he's public domain now. So if anyone wants to carry on Pooh's
I
jerk
know a couple.
bully,
Yeah, I know a couple of creators who are already messing with that, so it's pretty funny. No one's going that route with it yet, but I like that idea.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome. I think it's Ravens. They do
Yeah.
the Pooh public domain, and they're published by. Do you remember who? Someone
Mm-mm.
says it. I'll know. It's one of the like everyone knows it, but it's a smaller publisher. But it's still really cool if you get published by them. But I forget. And Antarctic, I think.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Okay.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna look at another. She's a New York businesswoman. He's a country farm boy. They're getting married on Christmas. Okay. That one's not laugh out loud for me, but still good. Chilly tonight. You better tuck them hooves.
It's also like if you can nail the like like the voice for this
Yeah.
character, like in your own head, if you can create a specific voice for him, almost anything he says is funny.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah, the Beetle Moses is like that too. And that's what like the best one of these that a lot of people say is the one where he's talking about turtleneck. I wonder if I can even find it. I mean, this is kind of like that. I'm brushing her right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she already ate dinner. But there's one where he's talking about a turtleneck and he's practicing lines at a party to say like, "Oh, my turtleneck, it's a bean. Oh, my turtleneck, got it at LL Bean." Something like that. It's like so funny and stupid. World's got plenty of cowboys. World's short on dancers.
Yeah, there's the fun. I think the comedy really hits if you like come up with a really good voice for him. That's just that monotone, almost blah voice mixed with this really creepy, goofy art. It's just
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a funny combo.
Yeah, and so Calvin and Hobbes, it was kind of famously like never adapted to animation except like maybe bootleg here and there. I think maybe like a
Yeah.
cartoon or or like fan stuff. But the author Bill Watterson, he like didn't want any of that, and because he was like a little hoity-toity maybe, but I feel like he was like, yeah, the kind of beautiful art of comics, don't associate it with animation. Get animation out of
Yeah.
here. It's like, and this feels a little bit like that. Like, yeah, you could animate this, and it might be cool, but it's perfect as a comic. It's really fun. Like that, it's just words and a
It
drawing.
won't hit the same.
Yeah, like if to have it hit with animation, like you're saying, to find the perfect voice, you would only hit it perfect for some of the audience anyway.
Yeah.
By any voice you give it, even if it's great, you know.
Right. That's the beautiful part, is that you're not giving it a voice. It's you're reading it in a way that you find humorous, and I'm doing the same thing. And our voices are probably a little slightly different. So the second you animate this bad boy, I think it takes a lot out of it. Like
Yeah,
this made me laugh.
I know. See, I don't quite get this one, but it made me laugh. Like I was like, I guess is he just an idiot? Is that the joke? Or...
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. I
Yeah.
love it.
So the Beetle Moses ones are like that too, where there's quite a few where you'll kind of laugh, but you're like, wait, what is even the joke? And that's like a whole type of humor in itself. And I think Farside
Yeah.
does some of that too. And like
Yeah.
barely funny kind of stuff or whatever.
Yeah, irreverent, just silly. Almost takes you back to like a Vine days, where it's like you watch a 15-second something that didn't make any sense, but for some weird reason it was so funny. Yeah, this one's a classic. I've seen this one a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Pizza time.
yeah. You know what's just funny about that is it's kind of like world building, like or what's the Western that Clint Eastwood did called Unforgiven? Do you remember Unforgiven?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's a type of genre, I don't know if they call it like post Western or something, or where it's a little more realistic, sort of. They try to for a
Interesting.
lot of it, like
Okay.
yeah, and so in that movie, there's like they do all these little bits almost where like there's a guy who there's a gunslinger, but he's starting to lose his eyesight, and so he needs glasses, but he doesn't have glasses yet. And like you're like, I've never seen that in a Western in my life, because
True.
obviously anything mythic is going to totally ignore that. But then if
Right.
you're like, oh yeah, like so there, yeah, it's packed with that. But anyway, this is like that kind of moment, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Real world situations.
yeah, all of a sudden like the rural just ruining the myth kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, these are, and I don't know if we even did a battle. It's so far, I feel like Beetle Moses is winning slightly, but he gets an advantage because he's doing multiple panel. He does one page comics, and Pants does literally like
I
one.
I prefer Pants.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
I think it's just it hits me different when it comes to the old school, like you said, Far Side and stuff like that. It like scratches an itch for me.
yeah. What do you think about this one? This is awesome.
I mean, I love it. You know, it's just
Yeah,
something I just love it, and I
it's a
don't know
little
why.
bit. This does sort of dovetail into Our Monsters. Like Our Monsters is like straight up horror, and but it's like it's kind of giving you these experiences like that. They have world building within the comics if you want to look into like who these people are and what's happening. That's where it got me like wondering like if a volume 3 or something, or any plans to, will it always be like one page horror stories? Are you thinking about doing like
So
two four
right now,
page?
my current plan is for it to stay one page horror stories, to really stay true to just what the original thing was, which was very popular and continues to be very popular. So I want to continue that. And then one of the things I was really thinking about doing was actually, after like volume 4, was turning this into almost like a hardcover coffee table book that you would put out on Halloween, and it would just
Ooh,
be the images. So like
yeah,
that was something I had an idea for. I was like, I would love to do that. Maybe that would capstone Our Monsters, or at least for what it is.
yeah,
And then maybe I would dabble into that, because I would be very interested in that. But for now, this is
yeah,
basically just the vibe of the series.
yeah, yeah. There's a Nicolas Cage movie that's like a woman's name where he fights with a chainsaw. Does anyone know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
it's called Amanda, I think, or something like that. No, what's
Yeah,
something like that?
it's not Chattel. No, it's not Amanda, but it's like that. It's like Madeline, or it's not that either.
It's something
Um,
like that, right? It begins with an A. Man,
Yeah,
that's gonna bug
it's
me now.
Mandy. It's Mandy.
Mandy. Okay, doesn't
Yeah.
begin with A. It
Oh,
reminded me of Amanda. Okay, Mandy.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We were both close. If you combine both
close.
what we both said, it would have been it
We
almost.
were both wrong in different ways.
Yeah. But anyway, so that one, there's a part where all of a sudden it gets kind of weird with some lore, kind of where they like summon these demon bikers, and
Yeah,
you get a sense that the demon bikers, have like been around and they have their own stories, but we're only seeing this little aspect of their story. And that's
yeah,
like this world building, horror world building, where you're just like, that's kind of the best part of the movie, pretty much. Like, oh, that's awesome. And yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
a lot of this feels like that. Like any of these characters could be like a if it was in a horror story, like what you could hang the whole story on the lore of this one character, pretty much. Or
yeah.
that's why it made me think of Berserk, because Berserk does that too. Of all things, it's like a fantasy comic, but it has the what are they called, the God Hand, and
Hmm.
they're influenced by freaking the one '80s horror movie. Do you guys know the Pinhead one, Hellraiser?
Well, it's
So
funny that you mentioned that because that's exactly what someone just put in chat. The LSD Cinnabites.
yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is like a awesome. You know what's a bummer kind of about Hellraiser though is like the first movie is literally so good, and Clive Barker, I think he wrote and directed that movie, and it wasn't a book, but he's also a novelist, and I
Yeah.
kind of want to read some of his horror novels. I haven't read them.
I've heard they're fantastic, and I've never read
Yeah,
one either, but I've heard
I
they're
kind
very
of
good.
I think he's like a genius, or whatever. And that movie was awesome. I think he might have still had something to do with the second one. I think the second one's pretty good too, Hellraiser 2. And then it's like I think they aren't good after that. And
Hmm.
it feels like they should keep, and they've like tried to reboot it multiple times. There's been
Yeah,
low budget versions and it just hasn't been good. And you're like, I feel like that could be one that people could definitely make good again at some point.
yeah.
Um yeah. Yeah, this is the good stuff. Yes, we got 10 people watching. Yeah, Paul said LSD Cenobites. Yeah, then that was
Yep.
like from Mandy, almost had a little bit of the Hellraiser kind of influence
Yeah.
too. Yes, let's look at a few more and then well, let me ask you a question too. I'm kind of multitasking, but my question is for sales, uh how's your split on a book like this between crowdfunding via or versus in-person like conventions and stuff?
So are you okay? So how is it between crowdfunding? So I would say
Like
that
a percentage breakdown or something,
percentage breakdown. You know what?
or
I
like
should do that.
online even, or yeah, like give me
Yeah.
a little pie chart kind of thing.
So like right now, our online store is actually like an older version. We're updating it soon. So I'm hoping with a really nice website, and I'm hoping that our sales are going to increase with that. So hopefully the pie chart will look a little different in like a month. But currently, it's primarily Kickstarter or cons.
Okay.
Is kind of like our main way of selling. At cons, you know, I would definitely say our they're actually kind of comparable. If I'm really thinking
Okay.
about it, they're comparable based on our amount of time. Because you also have to kind of constrain it to the amount of time. So con's a single day, you sell this many. Kickstarter's 30 days, you get 68 backers or so. So
Yeah.
trying to figure that out. But that said, volume 1 has been out since last October. It's been doing pretty good. It honestly, we sell more of that at every con than almost anything else. Just typically we say, hey, what are you into? You like sci-fi, you like fantasy, you like horror. The second you say horror, 9
Yep.
times out of 10 they go that one, and I go,
Yeah.
well, I
Yeah.
got the book for you. And so it's an easy sales pitch right there.
You know, it's kind of weird. I didn't know think about this until you said it, but my bestseller, and I've only done like a few cons, but my bestseller is Nosferatu. I have an adaptation of the silent film as a little graphic novel, and I have like my own stuff, but that little
Yeah,
adaptation totally is the bestseller.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
yeah,
you do have that like IP you're working with in Nosferatu. A lot of people love it, so
yeah, they
that's
recognize the
cool.
name, but they like the horror. It is like the
And then the horror aspect, it's just a huge seller. And
yeah,
that's the one thing that I was concerned about, because to be completely honest, I don't know about you, I haven't read a comic book yet that has scared me.
hmm
And I'm talking about, like, it's a horror book, but like I'm not at the end going like I'm not gonna have a nightmare. It's very
yeah,
rare.
yeah, yeah,
And that's something that I'm not trying to oversell this series, but that's kind of what I set out a goal to do was, and I mean, if you read volume 1, there's a bit of a through line there, and I think it would help if you sat with the physical copy, because I did notice that the physical copy just reads better with it. But the slight through line that pays off with like the last page, I wanted that to be something that's slightly different. It almost like breaks the fourth wall. I'm giving a little bit of a spoiler. But I wanted that along with all of these weird, creepy, real life situation panels and single pages to allow hopefully people to see these monsters, you know what I mean, in that situation. Whenever they're looking down a hallway that's dark, they just see that monster that they saw in this book, along with that fourth wall break at the end, which is this through line that I put in for each volume. So, you know, it's like I said, I haven't really read a horror comic that scared me yet. And my goal with this was to try to do that.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's a good way to try it too, with the way that you would do it is like, it's subconscious almost is what would actually give people nightmares.
It's actually subconscious what I'm trying to do, which sounds pretentious almost to say, but I'm like, I think that's the only way I can scare people.
Yeah.
With a still image.
Yeah. Cause there's like subgenres within horror too. People call something called cozy horror. Have you heard of it?
Yeah. Cozy horror. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, but I think to some people like cozy horror is like, what's Art the Clown? What's that movie? Terrifier. Yeah, like people call Terrifier cozy horror. I'm like, it's torture porn. Other people call it, and that one was weird though, because it does get weird. Where Terrifier 1, everyone was saying it's torture porn. I'm like, it's not for me. I don't like those kind of movies. But then everyone kept talking about it. So I finally watched it, and I was like, I really like that movie, even though I don't like torture porn. But it is kind of torture porn. I'm like, why do I like it? Like, it was just so simple and kind of fun. And I was like, is this cozy horror? I don't know. I don't know what.
Is this cozy horror? With the butterfly meme? Is this? I mean, I don't like it either. I don't like torture porn. I used to really like Saw. I used to really like Hostel back when I was a teenager. And for some reason, I just liked it. I think it was that shock value, especially
those
when you're younger.
Started that genre almost.
Yeah,
right around the beginning.
That's kind of like I think it's that shock value when you're that age. You're like, oh, holy crap! You know, like it kind of it's crazy that this is in front of you. I was like, this is wild. And then as I got older, that doesn't scare me. First off, it doesn't scare me. Like gore just doesn't scare me. And it really needs to be like something psychological that scares me. So I just stopped watching that. Like I just don't watch torture porn anymore.
But like
I might need to check out Terrifier though. I wasn't expecting a recommendation like that.
That one is weird. That one is like a little X factor. Maybe this part of the fun of like the fact that it made so much money, as a super indie movie. I think there was something like Terrifier 2 made more than Joker 2. When Joker 2 came out, Joker 2 was like $200 million movie. Terrifier 2 was like 10 million or something, maybe less.
I mean, that's not super shocking, but still.
Yeah. So some of that was all, and Terrifier 2 is fun too, because it has some weird lore and world building. But it's kind of weird because I think it's 2.5 hours long, which is like weird. But
that's another thing. As I've aged, as I've gotten seasoned and old, I really appreciate a nice 1.5 hour long movie. There's something about like if you can pull that off in 1.5 hours and I feel satisfied by the end, I'd much rather that than Oppenheimer at the moment. Yeah, even though Oppenheimer's great.
That's a whole like genre on streaming is like 90-minute movies.
Yeah,
I know Steven Soderbergh is good at them. Yeah, there's a few I want to watch. There's one called The Black Bag. It's a new Steven Soderbergh movie. I'm like, what is 90 minutes? I'm like,
no, I haven't seen that.
Those are you can like squeeze those in before bed or whatever. Usually I'll have.
What I mean.
Yeah, I try to have like an hour TV show for that, or I'll watch a longer movie. And sometimes if it's longer, I'll watch it in 2 spurts. And I'll usually I'll watch like at least a couple movies a week. That kind of helps me sometimes with like inspiration, even just watching movies.
Is that how you get? I get a lot of my inspiration from like other pop culture, music, movies, video games, comics. Is that similar to you? Like that, I pull a lot from them, while also at the same time trying not to pull a lot from them. You know what I mean? Like I almost get worried when I see something that's like amazing, and I'm like, crap, I can't really use that now.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, yeah.
at least I'm inspired.
I'll have a cycle sometimes where if I see something really good, I'll kind of get depressed because I'm like,
Me
I'm never
too.
gonna make. Yeah, I'm never making
That's
anything
how I'm
that
feeling
good.
about. I don't know if you guys or any of your fans watch Critical Role. You know, I mean, everyone basically knows about it. I don't know if you're
Yeah,
familiar with it,
yeah.
but I'm watching the new season. I do enjoy Critical Role. To be fair, I really only enjoyed the first season and then this new season.
Is
But
that Vox
Brandon,
Machina or is that different?
Vox Machina was the first season, first
Okay.
campaign.
Yeah.
And then they had 2 and 3, and now they're on 4. I literally skipped 2 and 3 just because I didn't find interest in it.
Yeah.
But 4 has a new DM, and he's so insanely good at like
Yeah.
improv and world building and character dialogue on a whim that it makes me feel like an idiot. And I'm
Is
like,
that one getting animated or is Critical Role like a separate thing that you watch? You just watch them do improv.
So Critical Role is actually a YouTube show that's just Dungeons and Dragons. It's
Okay.
just them with cameras and they play Dungeons and Dragons. So they have a DM and then a bunch of players, and that's how it originally started. And then it got animated because it became so popular. And it's like one of the most funded animations on Kickstarter ever. Like it was such a huge campaign. But I also I like watching the animated series, but it's almost like reading the book versus the movie.
Yeah.
It has a similar vibe for me because I watched. Anyway, the math is hard to do, but it's like 170 episodes or 130 episodes, and each episode's 4 hours long. I watched the
damn.
entirety of campaign 1. It took
So
me
yeah,
4 years.
the show would never cover that at all. Wouldn't even
It took me
close.
4 years to watch and then when they announced the animated series, I watched the first season and I was just like,
Yeah.
just not it, man. It just isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, and I never thought I'd be that snooty guy who's like the books
You're
are
like
better, but
posers or whatever.
yeah.
Tourists.
Okay, you fake, Taurus. Go spend 4 years and watch the real thing, like I did.
Yeah. So is that
But,
your main podcast for a while? Main like
with my
on-
wife, I watch a bunch of stuff on my own, but my wife's pretty selective. Like she doesn't like horror. She likes like comedies and rom-com. She's a pretty standard chick, other than she also games, so we game together, but she's pretty strict on like what she enjoys watching. But Critical Role I actually got her into because she loves fantasy books, and we got like 2 episodes in and she was hooked, and so we watched the whole. We spent 4 years together. That was our put the kids to bed, go lay in bed and watch that every night for 4 years. So it was it's pretty cool. So we're watching together now, campaign 4. But the main reason I bring it up is the DM is so insanely good that it makes you feel stupid. Like I feel like I don't know how to write. I don't know how dialogue works. I don't know how story building works. It brings me down to that point. And at the end of an episode, I was like, man, I feel depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, that's funny. Hearing you talk about it like that, I'm like, I gotta watch some of this, especially the season 4. I think
I would say so. Just real fast, we don't need to sit on this too long. Campaign 1 of Critical Role is one of the best, most entertaining sets of media I've ever consumed.
Okay.
Ever.
Cool.
That's my recommendation. You have to spend 4 hours or 4 years for that payoff, unless you're really diligent and can watch a lot. But I mean, there's people just on a screen rolling die, and me and my wife are we're literally just like freaking out about people just make believing in front of us.
Yeah.
It's so well done.
That's fun to like vicariously enjoy to that level.
It was. I wasn't expecting it. It's really good. The first 4 episodes are bad because of audio issues, but it's one of the best things I've ever watched. So, if you want some fantasy and you got 4 hours to kill, go watch Critical Role Campaign 1.
Cool. Do you ever play D&D yourself, or do you just?
Yeah, I've DM'd before. It's a lot of fun. I'm more of a DM than a player, even though I would like to play. But yeah, I like Dungeons and Dragons.
I wonder if Critical Role is a gateway drug to playing.
100%.
Rolling dice yourself. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. As soon as I watched it, I was like, I need to play this. This looks like so much fun. Yeah, and it's also fun to like build the story and have players walk through it. It's a lot of fun. That said, when you watch a campaign 1 and it's 4 hours long, and then you try and do that, it's literally 4 hours long. Like if you want to do one session where you like go do one battle, somehow it turns into 4 hours. And so I don't have time to do it. Like I used to do it every Saturday for like 6 months. I just don't have time anymore.
Yeah. Who do you do it with? Do you just randomly meet players, or
just old high school friends, high school buds? My wife would join in every once in a while. But yeah, and then, you know, it always happens. They move, like one moved to North Carolina. I'm in Florida. One moved to Kentucky, and you know, next thing you know, it's very difficult to do it. So
yeah. Yes. What about, so I got to pivoting a little bit to some more business stuff. How much of your business is web comics, if any, or is that bringing in like an audience? It looked like on Global Comics, some of it's free to read. Is Global Comics the only one you use?
So Global Comics is right now the only thing we use when it comes to digital, other than our website allowing people to purchase the PDF, which once again, we're working on a new website that's going to be pretty sick. Really looking forward to that. But we have historically used Global Comics as a marketing tool. We weren't necessarily using it like as a moneymaker. Trust me, I think I've made $60 over 2 years of being on the platform. So it's not a moneymaker. It's very similar to YouTube in that views equal money, and then there's, you know, the pay structure of if it's free to read or not, anything. So Global Comics has been a marketing tool. We have a lot of free stuff on there. That said, we used to only be like 700 followers. We have slowly, about 2 months ago, we had 700 followers, which is fairly large for an indie publisher on there.
Yeah.
We now are at 2,400 followers in 2 months.
Cool.
And we're getting like 15 a day. Basically, my phone won't shut up.
Yeah,
and
that's fun. Good dopamine.
It's not bad. But you know, you get to that point, you get spoiled to where I get a buzz, and I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, just another follower. This is getting annoying, guys.
Inevitable.
My phone away.
Downfall or whatever.
Yeah, but to the point where I actually reached out to the team at Global Comics. I was like, do you guys have 2350? Nice. Do you guys have a bot problem? And I did it, you know, I did it on Twitter. I was like, hey, Global Comics, you guys have a bot problem? Yeah. I was like, because I'm blowing up and I'm not seeing additional readers or page views. I was like, so there must be an issue here. And, you know, Global Comics was specifically, there's a specific guy there that I work with, but they came to me and we ran a bunch of tests, and apparently they're not bots. It's pretty cool. I love Global Comics. They're great. It's a great platform run by, so far from what I can tell, great people. So
yeah, they seem cool. They're making changes like in real time too. Like they made some, or like they're implementing stuff like last summer or whatever. They're doing stuff and they got more stuff coming.
I've flat out DM'd the CEO, Chris, and just asked him about a new feature if they could add it. And he goes, you know, that's not a bad idea. We'll work on that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like that, they're pretty cool. I really like Global Comics.
They're growing a lot too, so they might, you know, be more.
Yeah, they got Marvel.
They just signed like Marvel.
Yeah, it's huge. So like, and then the one thing I found out was Global Comics likes us, Bentbox Comics, which is pretty cool, to the point where the reason why we're blowing up so much right now, and I don't know if this is supposed to be public, I don't really care, but is because when you sign up with a new account, typically you're, you know, suggested. You know what I mean? It's like you might like Marvel or DC or Image. It says like DC, Boom, Bentbox Comics.
Cool. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
So that's apparently where a lot of our followers are coming from. Is just new profiles that are being recommended our stuff. But that's because we've worked really closely with Global Comics, and they kind of like what we're doing on their platform, and we really promote them a lot. But all that said, it is primarily a marketing tool until we start seeing a way to turn it into profit. Yeah,
but even like if it's 2,000, that kind of feels like those people are reachable when you do a crowdfund. I don't know if you can actually maybe you can't. I don't know if you can email them directly, but they're out there.
You can't, which is something I'm going to actually talk to them about. I would love that feature of like fan interaction with, maybe if it needs to be limited, that way people aren't spamming. But
Yeah.
I do think that would be a huge plus to this because it would almost take the place of like email lists, or not to
Yeah,
take the
yeah.
place,
Because
but it
that's a
would,
big thing for indie comics is the email list.
yeah, because even like our monsters, I believe, well, you're on it now. The cool thing about this is the ability to point to the Kickstarter. So I don't know how to do it on desktop. I've never done it. I've always done it on my phone. But if you click the green crowdfunding now, like little button on the left,
Oh yeah.
is that a button you know? Okay. On mobile, there's literally a banner on the Global Comics series that says crowdfunding now, and it links you straight. Yeah, do series info. Yeah, right
Here
at
we
the top.
go. Help raise
If you click
10,000.
that, people can just go back the book on Kickstarter. So like it
Yeah.
pushes people to
That
your
is
campaign.
great that they have that. I remember when they implemented that. Yeah.
That said, I'm doing as much research as possible, and the return on that is not high.
Yeah,
Just
at this
just just
point.
being frank, it's not high.
Yeah.
The majority of these
For
people read
anything,
it on
yeah,
full.
it's like orders of magnitude for like everything. And even Instagram's even lower. Instagram, it's
Yeah,
like 100,000 might be like 100 backers or something.
yeah,
Yeah, and even for like email lists, it's like maybe 1,000 might be 100 or something like that.
yeah. You'd be lucky with like a 3.5 click through rate or whatever. Like that's good.
Yeah.
So that just is what it is. But at the same time, that's why we're using it as a marketing tool, because we have 25, whatever it was, 2350 followers. This is on 403 people's shelves. They get
Yeah.
notified every time an update comes out. And so I'm just
Yeah.
hoping that it's more of a numbers game at this point. And then,
Yeah. You know what? I've talked about with some people in the past. I wonder if Global Comics they might be doing this, and like Kickstarter and Indiegogo should do this too. But there's ways that you can gamify it for both for like the creators and the buyers. But yeah,
yeah,
like ways like you can build like even it is nice seeing the number when on Kickstarter. It's like they've backed like 100 campaigns. You're like, ooh, that's pretty high. That's kind of cool. Like that number gets higher, you start to get
yeah,
proud of it or whatever.
yeah.
Like that's a fun thing to keep track of. And even yeah, like I know Steam actually does it pretty well, I think, for
Well,
video
yeah,
games. And
yeah.
video games have these achievements. So I was thinking like there should be a list because that can be community created. But yeah,
Well,
of
that'd be a
like
great idea. I'll talk to the CEO.
yeah, tell them pass them on like achievements. But yeah, because tell them if they do it, if they like do a list of achievements of like who pulls off this achievement. One of them should be biggest banana, and I should win it. So just tell
Okay,
them
fair.
because I have the biggest banana. It's in Grand Prix 2. I deliberately wrote, but except I think it might have been Dale
Okay.
A. He trolled me because he posted a Silver Age Superman comic with a bigger banana right under my Twitter post bragging about it. I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
you can only hold that crown so long. It happens.
Yeah,
Happens to the best of
yeah.
us.
But like, yeah, like having a an exploding head. There's like a million things, but like they're kind
No,
of like
I actually
funny checklist stuff.
I really like that idea because that's the thing that honestly, at least back in the day, used to really keep me gaming.
Yeah,
I play on Xbox, and I I was one of the first people to reach 100,000 gamer score on Xbox early on. There's only like I think two people ahead of me because I was a fat nerd, and didn't have anything else to do. But other than that, I also was addicted to achievements. It's just like ba-ding,
yeah,
ba-ding. It
yeah,
is that gamification of things. But even right then, as you're talking, I had a ton of ideas for different ways to gamify it, even specific ways to gamify it, as in like literally read every release for a single publisher, like super
yeah,
fan,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then you have that as an achievement, and it doesn't matter which publisher, but you just have that.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I like that idea, especially to allow people to have like badges on their profile.
yeah. Like you just
Gamifying
get
anything is smart.
yeah. Like if even say I really like what you said about Superfan, like, and it could actually be individualized. Like you submit like a bent box, you get to design your badge, and people it appears like a Eagle Scouts little
Yeah,
sash,
no,
So
that'd be
like
awesome.
they collect them by reading more people's stuff. It's almost like Pokemon. Just talking about it, yeah, it's making my hands.
It's making me excited.
Yeah,
I know I
I
do.
get
I
addicted
actually
too.
really like that idea, and like I said, gamification of anything is smart. And right now, my main concern, I mean, like Our Monsters Volume 1 has 16,000 views. That's pretty good. We're doing pretty well with it. And it is free to read. So that's the main incentive for this is that it's free to read. I would love the main incentive for other things other than the fact that it's high quality and good would be, oh man, I need to get, more page reads. Oh, this book looks really cool. Let me use it. You know what I mean? Like that's a really cool idea. So I think it would be smart platform.
There's like a riddle for that about if you offer something for free, in theory you would get more readers, but sometimes it'll work against you because people perceive it as less valuable or whatever.
Yep.
And so I don't even know. It's like for me, I'll kind of do half and half sometimes. Or
that's what I try and do.
The first issue maybe can be free, but then from there on, something like that. But
yeah, I've been doing like on Global Comics, the majority of our first issues are free. Secondary issues are paid. We have 2 series on there that we are just making free, just as like Global Comics exclusives. Once again, it's kind of just continuing to use it as a marketing, technique. But yeah.
Yeah. Cool. We can start tiptoeing towards like wrapping up here. I have a few more questions about the business side, and let me just give a quick shout out to like the chat and the book. It's Our Monsters. This is volume 1 and 2 are available with this campaign. These are 1-page horror stories. They got a lot of aura on these pages. This is the type of book where you can pour over a page for like 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Rather than like, because I think I told you I read it in like 20 minutes, but I was like, I want a physical copy so I could actually spend like an hour with it or whatever.
Yeah.
Just really look, because I think it actually encourages like the imagination of the reader to kind of invent more lore and build out the stories even more. And like you're saying, that's where it can kind of get into that realm where
that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it actually is like giving you nightmares or whatever. I like the animated GIFs, by the way. I never know what to say, GIF or GIF. Don't put me in a box.
It's GIF.
One way or the other.
No, it's GIF.
No, I'm GIF then. I'm contrarian.
Oh, fair. That's fine. I mean, you can be wrong, but it's GIF.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yes. All right. We'll move on to something different. Yes. So chat. We have 11 people watching. Check this book out. Give it some looks. It's got 2 days left. I wonder where does it say that? Oh yeah, that's like that. Whatever that.
Yep, 2 days. So it ends at 5 p.m. on Halloween. And then one of the cool things about this book and the series in general that we were doing is the book will be complete by the time it's funded. And my goal, as well as what I did for volume 1, is that by maybe 7 p.m. or sometime during Halloween, you'll see the digital copy in your email.
Oh, cool.
Same day.
Fun. That's a good bonus for anyone listening. That's a really good thing.
Yeah. So if you want this, you can read it. Obviously, see, I agree. There's something about physical. I understand digital, but I do feel like this book just works best physical. It works best when you're just sitting in front of it. You're actually manually flipping the pages and everything. But if you do just want digital, feel free to pick it up. It's a pretty cheap price, and you can read it on Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah. I like your idea of doing the coffee table book too, eventually.
I'm excited for that. I really hope we get to that point because I think that just like a nice thick coffee table book that you put out on Halloween would just be cool, or just during October.
Yeah. So tell me a little, before we get out of here, a little bit more about Bentcomics, like how it started. And the first few steps when you make that decision or whatever.
Well, I mean, Bentbox was just, I wanted to get into comics, and I knew I understand branding. So I knew that needed to be a big part of it. Unfortunately, I do wish I could just write comics and, make money, but it doesn't really work that way. And so I understood branding. I realized that I really needed to figure out what kind of moniker my comics would be under. So I created Bentbox Comics. It was originally just myself. Then it turned into John as well, who was a co-founder at one point. Once we realized that we had my books and his books, and we had like 4 books total within a matter of a couple months, what we started noticing is one of the main issues with indie comics is that, or at least individuals in indie comics, is that Artificial One, my book, I made it 1 year, I made it, and then I it took me almost 8 months before I could make the next one. And that's a hard pace. You know what I mean? It's a hard thing for people to keep hold of and to keep in the zeitgeist and everything like that. So what we decided to do is like, well, what if we just become a publishing house? What if we bring on really awesome creators with unique stories that's just about fun, that's and high quality. Honestly, high quality is my top thing. Like, I've had to turn a lot of people away. No offense to them, and I've told them, I was like, it's just not the quality we're going to put out. It just isn't. And I think if you go to Global Comics and look through all of our books, there's nothing low quality in any of our books, which I'm very proud of. But what we decided was, let's just find a lot of high quality creators, specifically the lower level that are just getting started, getting their feet wet, and let's work with them. And that means that, Artificial comes out, February. World's Forgotten 1 comes out, maybe May. And then Orium 2 comes out. Yeah. I was like, we're able to kind of continually put out content and high quality comics that keeps the company in the zeitgeist. And then we just kind of uplift each other and share an email list and share all of our followers and just continue to grow. So that's where we're at right now. And we're doing pretty well. Cool. We're growing pretty rapidly, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it's got to work. It's working, and that just sounds like a good idea. That's something I like when that maps over what I've seen in video games too. Like video games, they'll have like kind of small publishers where they pool kind of the marketing together and they start to grow. And a lot of times based on word of mouth and quality, and it becomes quality across the brand. Specifically, I'm thinking of like, there's one called Top Hat Studios. You guys might have heard. Mm-hmm. I follow them on Twitter, and they're like a small video game publisher. And
I used to do indie games. I follow a lot of indie game publishers. Like, I used to actually create indie games. It's a lot of fun. It's hard. So I ended up getting out of it. But I have the utmost respect for indie game creators. It's insane.
That's cool. That's cool. You were messing around in games too. Did any of those skills help?
Actually, I did screenplay writing. I think it helped me transition into comic books because I was always a visual storyteller. And then when going into comic books, it helped me just understand that the visuals really need to be on point. And that's a big part of your pacing and telling the story. So I do think it helped a lot, at least so far. I've only written a handful of books. I mean, technically I've written like 23 on a Google Drive somewhere. They're just not out yet, because of paying artists and everything. So, but I do think it definitely translated and it helped a lot. It's going pretty well. I've had, to your point, I've had a lot of people actually say, "Hey, I read Wingless, and man, it was good. What else do you got?"
Okay,
it's like, buddy. Hey, we got a bunch of stuff. And then I've had a lot of people do that, and I've had specifically at cons. I've had a guy buy World's Forgotten 1 at a con. He went and ate lunch, read it, came back, bought everything else at the table.
Cool. That's white pillar. That feels good. Yeah, that's awesome.
It does feel good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the vibe I want to give with Bentbox, is where if you see that little logo, right up here, it says Bentbox Comics, you just know it's not going to suck. Like, it's going to be good.
Yeah, that's why Global Comics can recommend it like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they do it, and I'm very appreciative of them. I almost told them I felt, it's that maybe imposter syndrome almost, but like I told him, I was like, take us off the recommended. We're getting 30 people a day. I was like, this seems unnatural. Like, something's wrong. And the guy was like, no, we love you guys. You guys are doing good work. We love your books. You guys have promoted. We're just recommending it. I'm like, all right, fine. Keep it up.
Yeah. It sounds like part of like almost, it reminds me of, it's like however much you can grow, you don't want to collapse under the growth. So you're trying to build something strong enough that it wouldn't collapse. And mostly that's just like quality, or like the brand recognized with quality. And then it can keep like for example, if tomorrow, like who's the freaking most famous like Instagram person right now, but who's the musician?
You're asking the
Taylor
wrong
Swift.
person.
If Taylor Swift says,
I've heard of her.
Yeah, she's like, ooh, I really love Wingless or I love Bentbox comics, and then you get like a million. Yeah, you just what you want to be ready for when that happens. You're not scared, or maybe you still be scared, but you'd be
I'm not
more
scared.
like,
Hey
yeah,
Taylor,
you'd be
check it
more
out.
like, yeah, yeah. It wouldn't be like, oh shit, we're not ready. No, 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 we don't want this yet, or you know what I mean? Something like that.
I operate under the fake it till you make it. I always have.
Yeah,
I don't mind. And then the second Taylor Swift tweets out Wingless,
yeah.
it's going to be pretty
That
cool,
that was
and
my plan.
we'll ride it.
Yeah, comics they're doing better now. I'm pretty sure, or feels like it. But there was like 2016 to 2024 or something. They weren't. It was like comics
Yeah,
got weird, and I had a plan to save comics, and it was the Swifties, like just the Swifties. We
the
need to
Swift.
somehow get them on board. The
Now you
Swifties are
can
the
maybe
key.
do the cross with the footballers, you know, with Travis
Yeah,
Scott or
see, they're
Travis
all someone else
Kelsey,
is
whatever his
doing
name
it.
is, and
Everyone had the
then
same idea. They're like, we need the
everyone
Swifties.
did. Yeah, the Swifties, man, they're the
Yeah.
key. They're
Yep.
the key.
And
There, it
there's
used to be the Kardashians. Now it's the
yeah.
Swifties.
Yeah. The Swifties are the key. You picture that like the
Are
really
the
cheap
key.
guy's voice. Yeah, like the
Yeah,
90s trailer or whatever, whispering under
the
the sea. The
Swifties are the
key.
key. I like
Yeah.
it. I think you're onto something there, bud. I gotta write that into my business plan.
Yeah, yeah.
Foolproof.
So yeah, achievements, exploding heads, giant bananas, Swifties. Then
The
say
Swifties, number one.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, they
My
Swifties are the
vision
key.
board
That's
right over here.
like the password, like if in a back alley to like get into like the bent box,
Swifties are
like
key.
whatever. Yeah. Knock, knock, knock. What's the password? The Swifties are the key. Okay. Get it.
I don't know if I want to be in that room.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I anything that works. I'll take it. Even right now, we're doing. You did say earlier you were going to ask about cons. I'm actually hosting my own con, and this is another fake it till you make it idea. I don't know if you would be interested in it, but it's kind of a cool concept. But do you do cons like on your own a decent amount, or are you
There's
trying
one
to?
in my town that I do, and then I've been doing like one other that I'll fly to per year, and that's it. But I'd like
Right.
to do a little more. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have you down in Florida at some point.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
do.
Keep me posted on
I'll
that.
keep you posted. The fake it till you make it moment that I did was are you familiar with Dave and Buster's?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I walked into a Dave and Buster's once after my son's soccer practice, and I saw that they had a convention hall, and it was large enough to be similar to like a hotel conference room, which a lot of smaller cons have those. You know, they'll be at a hotel conference room, the smaller ones on a single Saturday.
Yeah.
And so I just went up to the front desk and said, "Hey, is your general manager here?" And you know, I look like trash. I was wearing my I was a coach, so I had just like a sweaty coach's uniform on with board shorts and flip flops and a backwards cap. And I'm like, "Is your general manager?" They're like, "Yeah. Why?" And I'm like, "I just have a question. If she has some time, or if they have some time." And they're like, "Yeah, let me get her." And Jesse came out of my local Dave and Buster's, and I was like, "Have you ever?" And this is just how I started. I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you. Have you ever considered throwing a Comic-Con at your location?" And she's like, "No." And I was like, "Would you like to?" And she's like, "I actually do like Comic-Cons. Me and my husband go to them all the time." And I'm like, "Okay."
Ooh.
I know. I was like, I got excited right there. I was like, "Okay." And so we literally just chatted for maybe 40 minutes while my wife took the kids and went and played
Cool.
played Dave and Buster's. And we concocted a con at the arcade event that happens at Dave and Buster's, and it's hosted by myself and Dave and Buster's.
Sweet.
And yeah, so we did one in April.
The first one's coming up, or have you done them?
We already did one April 26th of this year. Went very well. Even with like, I was promised to be on and interviewed local news and radio, and every single one of them fell through. Everyone was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, something came up. Can we reschedule?" I was like, "Dude, it's tomorrow," or like whatever.
Yeah, you can't reschedule. This is not the kind of thing you can reschedule.
I was so upset about it, and I was really concerned because I was like, no one's going to know about this. I was like, I've put it out as much as I can, but no one's going to know about it. I did better at that con than I've done at most of any con.
Cool.
So I was very happy with how it went, to the point where at the end I was laying on the floor all the other people had left. The room's empty. It's just me and all my crap in the corner. And I'm laying on the floor just exhausted because it was a hell of a 2 days. I won't get in all that. And Jessie comes in and she just like peeks over me as I'm laying down. She goes, "So when's the next one?" And I was like, "Whenever you want." I was like, "Let's do it." Yeah. So the next one's actually this Saturday. November 1st.
So you did one April, then one November, so you could almost do them like bi-yearly or whatever.
That's going to be my thought, but not only bi-yearly, my whole goal, as I told Jessie, I was like, and this is the salesman part of it, and like trying to make deals and wheeling and dealing. I literally told her, I was like, I want this to be a really good relationship between the two of us. I want you to look forward to us putting a con here, because on that Saturday, you're going to get a 15% increase in game sales and a 15% increase in food sales. That's what I want for you. It's going to be a great Saturday for you, and it's going to be a great Saturday for me. And she goes, I like that. And so now we're working together. But my whole thing, I told her, I was like, you guys have a Dave & Buster's up in Tampa, right? And she's like, yeah. I was like, can you give me the general manager's number? And she's like, yeah. So she gave me his number. I have the number for the guy in Miami. I have the number for the guy in Orlando. So yeah, my goal is to literally just be Con at the Arcade, the con that goes at Dave & Buster's, and it's coming to a town near you. That's a 1 day type thing.
The humble beginnings, just 1 or 2 in your hometown, but it could be franchise.
Yeah. So that's another part of the business, which is kind of crazy. And I would never have, when I put a Bentbox logo on the front of Artificial One, I never would have been like, I'll be doing cons soon. Like that's not a thing, but
and it does all like, it all like helps itself as you
everything pushes up, and that's my whole goal. Even if it's something that's a little like outside the box, like running my own con, as long as it promotes the brand and pushes the brand forward, it's not, it's worth investigating.
Yeah. Cool. Sweet.
There you go.
But yeah, it's great hearing about this kind of stuff from you. Yeah, you definitely have a lot of built up a lot, so it's fun to like kind of hear some of that infrastructure. And yeah, for anyone, we got 8 people in the chat. There's the purposes to let everyone know about. For one, I would just subscribe straight up to the Bentbox Global Comics. Keep an eye out for all their stuff, but the one that's live right now that looks great is this really fun horror thing timed perfectly for Halloween. Grab this. It's Our Monsters. And actually, you can read volume 1 for free, so I do recommend everyone check that out. It's on Global Comics. And Chris, thank you for coming and joining me and chit-chatting a little bit.
I appreciate it. This is fun. I love doing these. So, I like, as you can tell, we're busy. I'm sure I'll have something else coming up soon, and I would love to come hang out.
Oh, totally. Yeah, we should. Yeah, and we can get on with Nick sometime too. Maybe you, me, and Nick. We can build it. We can mix and match. We can be like, little concoctions of get a little show going even or something. But,
that sounds fun.
Yes. So I'm going to end the stream in a second. Hang out for just a second, Chris. We'll say hi behind the scenes for just a second too.
Okay.
So everyone, thank you so much. And look at that. It did go up 1, which is nice. You got the news.
I'll take it.
Bam. That might have came from something else while we're talking, but I like to say it's from our chat.
Thanks, Paul.
And Paul, thank you, sir. And so there could be anyone watching in the future. Definitely keep supporting, especially as it gets down to the last couple days. So we'll see if we can get how much higher it can get.
Cool. I appreciate it, everyone.
Dele. It's different for Kickstarter because it goes up automatically, but maybe it's like if it just doesn't go up, a puppy dies. That's what I say, is like if it doesn't go up somewhere in the world, a puppy dies. I don't actually kill a puppy. I just claim that a puppy died.
It just happens. You have a guy do it, but it's not on you.
If anyone wants to save puppies, you have to back. And they say you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to threaten the chat with blackmail. You're not supposed to beg. But on my channel, we break all the rules. So
yeah,
I say, please don't make me kill this puppy, chat. Please back.
Please chat.
Okay. All right, I'm going to end the stream. So